All right. So, what this hangout is about is my progress in my cognitive dissonance theory. Now, of course, if I were to speak to a psychiatrist or a professional in the area, I might not be um, aligned to what they think of cognitive dissonance. So, although I borrow the word, I have a very specific definition of my own, and that is that, well, it's more or less the same. What cognitive dissonance is where there's two ideas held in mind and they are at odds. I hold that the only way that it works, and if anyone knows how to prove otherwise, let me know. But I hold that one idea must be true and the other idea must be false in terms of reality. How do you gauge reality? Well, you gauge reality by the senses, interaction of the senses with the real world. And that's the only way that you can gauge reality. You can't gauge it from a thought in your mind. Otherwise, gods would be real. And they're not. Because that's all a god is, and an angel and a devil. They're just a thought in a person's mind. They don't have a reality beyond that mind. So cognitive dissonance occurs when you've got a false idea and it's conflicted or confronted by a true idea in terms of reality. So I had an interesting session today with a guy called, what was his name again?
Brett Keane.
Yeah, Brett Keane. Now, Brett, if you ever get to watch this or listen in, you're quite welcome to come back. But I promise you, you won't be able to stay too long in a room with me. Right? And you will also exhibit bad behaviours. That's the nature of the beast. Oh, hello, Jello. Hello, Jello. Jello, hello. Is that the real Jello?
Yeah, that's me. How are you doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
Excellent.
Good to hear. So I'm just doing a session on my progress with my theory on cognitive dissonance. Now, it might not match the classical, the classical understanding, but it's my definition, and I'm happy with it, and I'm using it to try and break these belief bubbles. I met a guy called Brett Keane today, and he went cognitive dissonance in a very short time. What happened was I started just presenting my views, and he was patient and allowing me to speak. But then he jumped in and interrupted, and I said to him, because he's got this notional idea that he's a good Christian. I heard some stories about him that may not be true. But anyway, he's got these ideas about being a good Christian, so he wants to be seen that way. So me knowing that, I just said to him, don't interrupt, that's rude. Let me finish what I've got to say, then you can have your turn. And it was at that point that he kicked me out of the room. But it was very interesting. So what I've got to do, what I'm trying to work out, and yes, Jello, we did have a long chat, and I haven't forgotten what you said. What I need to do is keep the person in the room.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do. So what I'm going to do with the next person I run across, I'm going to try and be nice. But you have to understand that cognitive dissonance, when it occurs, certain behaviours will happen, and I could be as nice as pie, and they'll still run away from the room. That's my experience anyway.
Oh yeah, and sometimes the nicer you are to them, the madder they'll get.
That's true.
But that's not your problem. You know what I mean? Like that's, hopefully someone that gets mad for no good reason like that, like okay, let them get mad, and then hopefully just hopefully, maybe someday down the road they'll be sitting around, maybe driving to work or, just having a quiet moment alone, right? And it'll dawn on them, fuck, why did I get so mad? That guy didn't, like, he didn't attack me. There's this one dude who 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 taught me some things, and I am very grateful to. But him and I have some philosophic differences, and I don't know what it is, but he taught me this. He basically taught me a trade for free, and he was great with me until he found out we had these philosophic differences, and then now he kind of treats me like an enemy anytime I'm around him.
Yeah.
And it's all I can do is be grateful and as humble as I can. Not humble isn't a hard one for me. I don't have a lot, but I just I don't give him back what, because either he thinks he's already getting an attack from me, that I don't mean to be dealing him, or he just wants to attack me. And personally, I don't feel terribly threatened.
No, and you shouldn't do. I'm curious though, why? Now? So there's this moment in time, philosophical differences occur. What was it? Can you just pinpoint one of them? You don't have to go into all detail, but can you tell me one philosophical variation?
Well, he's a very fundamental Christian.
Ah, right, okay.
And I'm fundamentally not a Christian.
Yeah.
And I'm cool. Just I don't want to argue with anybody whether or not things are the way I think they are or you think they are. I'm more interested in discussing the differences in the way you and I think, and then maybe if one of us is interested in finding out why the other person thinks the way they do, then that too. But I'm more interested in the conversation, and I'm much more interested in finding friends than enemies. But I'm not really here necessarily for either. I'm really not here to find enemies. Like,
yeah,
that's just a waste of time.
One of the things I think, and I might be wrong, but one of the reasons I think that he's divorced himself from you is he might have struggled with, see, conceptually, his world says that all people that aren't Christians, are somehow wayward or wrong or whatever, and yet he would have. So here's a question, right? Before the philosophical bust-up, was it a good friendship?
I mean, I don't know. I met him on a forum that was dedicated to this thing that him and I are both interested in, and that's there was this online chat thing, kind of like this.
Jello. What I'm asking is did the guy before the?
Well, no, I was trying to get. I hadn't known him for very long, I guess, is the long and the short of it. I had only known him for a couple of months, but
yeah. But did he like you?
I think he liked me. Like I said, he basically taught me a trade for free.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was at least friendly to me.
Yeah. So here's what I think the problem is. When he sort of realised where you sat on the issue, that puts you into a whole. So he moved you from, this normal human relationship that had developed. He moved you out of that, and because his beliefs are that you belonged in the bad camp, and possibly he started to think that you might be a bad influence on him. I need to get away from this nice guy, otherwise he'll drag me down the atheist route, or something of that nature.
Yeah, that would make sense, except he invited me in, like, after I noticed this becoming a pattern, he kept inviting me into chat rooms. In fact, the last one was like just over a month ago. He does chats every month or two, and I'm one of the people on his list.
Can I come along?
It's a bunch of stoners.
What's a stoner?
The people that smoke weed.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm trying to be vague here about this thing, because I know that you're not interested in it. I trust me, and you know it's your live, so I don't want to bog down your recording with that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, but anyway, the only, from where I sit, and I'm sure I think you would realise that he's the guy at fault, and that's where it sits, and
Oh yeah, I didn't do anything wrong.
No, exactly. Yeah, human beings and their beliefs, eh?
Yeah.
Trouble. Yeah. So anyway, I had this Brett Brett.
Yeah, I've known that guy for several years, actually.
Well, I had him in a room, and I was just giving my side of a position, and the guy jumped in and started interrupting. I pulled him up and said, "Don't interrupt. You get your turn." And with that, he kicked me out of the room. So I'd love to spend some time with him again. So if you could organise that, that'd be really great.
Well, I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, your good buddy down here used to be friends with him too.
Did you down? Down, deeper and down. Well, anyway, anyone, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, he hasn't really talked to me for a while. The last I saw him, like, I want to say around Christmas time last year, somewhere around December, or January. If it wasn't, it might have been before December, but not much. Anyway, it was cold here. And I went into, you remember Reuven, right?
Yes, I do.
I went into Reuven's room, and I was in there hanging out, talking and stuff, and Brett Keane came in there, and I thought I was pretty friendly to him. I started reminiscing, and within seconds he was gone. I don't think he wanted to reminisce. I don't know. I don't think he wants to be my friend anymore, damn
it. No loss.
Why won't religious people be friends with me, damn it? I mean, sure, maybe you'll see a meme you don't like every now and then, and maybe I'll say a joke you don't like. But God damn it, I promise to try not to drag you to hell with me, okay? Like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
How about this? How about let's look at from the opposite direction. I don't hate nobody because of what they believe. Why do they hate me because of what I do or don't believe, or I don't really care to get into that argument? Whether it's a positive or negative claim. I don't believe there's a God versus I believe there's no God, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. I'm just saying, like, I don't hate you. Why you gotta hate me? That kind of thing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's part of the doctrine. I mean, what's the bloody what is it? There's supposed to be lots of people out there ready to steal the Christians away. So in their mindset, when you start, if you're an atheist or you've got a position that's not their position, then you're working for the devil, basically. And so that's the way their mind works, and that's why these religions are a bloody big problem, because it doesn't allow good human relations. It interferes. You know, you're either in the club or you're not. So Muslims are exactly the same. I mean, they crow about this peaceful religion, you know, loving and caring and just the best thing ever. But in reality, their teaching, their doctrine says to kill the kafirs. What's a kafir? Kafirs are non-believers, so that's everyone that's not in the club, lo and behold. So, you know, they're a fucking nightmare on on humanity. Such a nightmare. And we just sort of let it waffle on by, as if it's sort of a benign thing, but it's not. It's not a benign thing at all. Very dangerous stuff. Oh, pardon me. Now, I had an interesting. So I had that chat with Brett Keane. So I'm throwing out an invite. I'm interested in Brett Keane coming into the room with me. And what I would say is, I have more stamina than him. I can stay in the room longer than he will.
Yeah.
And we'll talk
I
about
think you're probably right.
I know I'm right from the get-go, because I know that this cognitive dissonance thing, I know the way it works, and what, you know, it's the flight-fight response, and so they either kick you out or fight you. They get petty, they start name-calling, so, you know, the good old Christian folk become the nasty, nasty Christians, and, you know, you're the cause of it. It's not them that's being nasty. I mean, even though it's the words are coming out of their mouth and you don't put them in there. Yeah, and so it's a petty little fight, and then the next thing is, if they can't win the fight, they save some face if they can, because they're conscious of other members in the group. And if they can't get that done, then they just run away. And that's just the way that shit works. So I'm interested in him. Now, I had an interesting chat. I may not be here tomorrow, Jello.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I had a chat with a young lady online. I'll see if I can get it up, share it. And she's got this great messenger. His name is Felix Manilo. And this messenger is an angel. And he's got a hitman whose name is Jose Bok. And this lady has commissioned them to kill me.
Huh?
Yeah. So I'm not joking. This is true. This is the silly stuff. Now, the girl might be mucking around, you know. I don't know.
You think, maybe?
Well,
Well, chances are either she's playing or she's nuts.
well,
I mean, you know, odds would dictate, right?
she is a Seventh-day Adventist, right? So we're off to a flying start there.
I've never heard of the belief as angels being hitmen.
Oh, here it is. I'm going to show you. Now, can you see that?
I'm just saying that I've never heard of that before. Like, I mean, is that something unique to her, or?
Well, here's how the conversation went. Right now, I'm a bit of a stirrer. I like to wind them up a bit. So I started off by, we'll start at that point. There's other stuff, but I said, ha ha ha, get F, dear. So I wanted her to get a little angry. I'm still here. So this is after her threatening to kill me. Something will happen to you tonight. So this is it. She's saying, and basically I had to come across and join the club. So something will happen to you tonight. Our great last messenger and angel will come to you.
Jeez.
And then, so I said to her, because then I started to think, oh, I know what's going on here. Sorry, one sec.
Sure.
Hello. Yeah, hello. Wait. Hey? Yeah, okay. Got it, Mum? Okay. Alright, okay. Um, now, so I'm thinking, while she's telling me this tale, I'm thinking this guy is like those guys you see in the States, you know, that make multi-million dollars out of evangelizing. So I thought, all right, hang on, I'll just suss this out. So I said, does Felix have the best house? Now, she sort of flicked that off. I'm not kidding, right? So she's being quite serious. There. Oh, sorry, love. I'm not kidding. Worship Felix Manilow or you die. See? So that was the deal. You know, if I worship this guy, I'm safe. But if I don't, I'm stuffed. You know, I'll be dead. So I said, yes, bullshit. Had a laugh. Yes, house in heaven. I don't know what that... Oh, this is her reinterpreting what I was trying to find out about this dude. With 100 virgins, why do you ask? All right, so... then I thought I'll take an opportunity here, because if I can get these people in to a Google Live Hangout, it'd make for an interesting video. So I said, if I'm here tomorrow, will you do a Google chat with me? And of course, for me personally, I could actually, you know, play with the ideas about belief and that, because these are extremely stupid beliefs. Yeah. Anyway, she goes on and she says, "Are you now ready to repent and accept Felix Manilow as your savior?" Yes, I will. Yeah, so she's acknowledged, she's actually agreed to come on to Google Hangouts, like as if that's going to happen. Now I said, no. What is Felix's earthly house like? Is it the biggest? Because my thinking is, you know, this guy's run. If this is a real story, this guy's running a scam, you know. So, and here's Jose Bok Bok. He's the actual hitman. Will you please get his Skype address? So apparently, what she's doing there is she's talking to this Jose Bok Bok, the hitman, and giving him an instruction to get my Skype address. Anyway, it goes on and on and on. Shall I continue, or?
Sure.
It's up to you guys. Hey, sorry.
Sounds nutty. I like nutty.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I'd love to talk face to face with this Felix Manilow if he exists. So anyway, good. I hope you folks are truthful. All right. So that's me planting a seed that I want to push them on the truth aspect, because that's part of the cognitive dissonance journey. You've got to have truth in the mix, or, you know, to get any result. Like I mentioned, so see here, she's twigged about that, and then she says, why? What is wrong with that? So that tells me straight up that if this is a real person and this Felix exists, she's basically confirming that he actually does sit in a mansion. So if he's real, he's conning these folks. He is the richest messenger in the planet because he was so blessed. Yeah, right. Blessed with their donations. And then I just returned and said, means he's running a scam. Where are we? And then I threw in this one.
You don't think maybe she's messing with you a little bit?
Yeah, well, I did at the end. I thought, golly, she's messing with me. Because it does sound just complete. Oh, hang on. Let me Google this Felix Manilow. That'll tell the story. But yeah, you're right. It's quite possible. Well, there is a Felix Menelo. Oh, and he is the same picture she showed. Oh, and that's what she said, Inglesia. Yeah, so here we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that picture there, that's the actual guy. She showed that picture. And she did speak about this Iglesia ni Cristo and incorporated with Philippine government on July 27th, 1940. Well, he's got to be dead. He is dead. What's she talking about? It's an elaborate hoax. Yeah, anyway, that was part of today's fun.
You really do attract them there, Rob.
Mm-hmm. I do, my friend, and I don't sort of shy away from the nutters because I'm probably classified by them as a nutter as well, but I don't shy away because I'm interested in that phenomena. And I relate it all back to cognitive dissonance and the two wolves story. And I'm comfortable with that, regardless of what anyone else says, until they give me a better line or a better story. So that's why I get caught up in it. And, you know, just reflecting on my last journey into this time round, right, I'm actually learning that I was part of the problem last time round. It's because I wasn't aware of what was going on. I took things on face value.
Okay. You might have had a little more something to do with it than that, but I would agree that that was part of it.
Nah, it's no more than that, dude.
Oh yeah, you wound yourself up, Rob.
I got worked up. That's true. That's true. But the reasons, there is a reason for that. From my perspective, and of course, until I can bloody prove otherwise, I always felt I was being honest and truthful about everything, even even the religious story. I hold that it's true, and I haven't changed any position on that. So I was reacting, you know, to all the trolling.
Yeah, but understand, if someone doesn't agree with you, they think they have, or they may think they have it right, or they might not think they have it right. They just might not think that you have it right, and they got a right to think that way.
Oh yeah.
And I think for at least towards the end there, when I say you were winding yourself up, you were very angry, like all the time. And I think, from my perspective, of course I could be wrong. I'm no kind of shrink, definitely not a good one. But it seems from my perspective that that anytime anybody challenged you in any way, in your eyes, it seemed to me like it was a fight to the death.
Oh yeah, it got worse. It gets worse as it goes on. That's for sure. But I've learned a lot.
That's not beneficial to anybody.
Not.
It certainly wasn't beneficial for you, Rob. I mean, you got kind of sick, didn't you?
Well, yeah, you could call it that, but it wasn't related to that particular problem. It was something else.
It wasn't you getting angry, didn't have anything to do with it.
Oh, people took that diagnosis on as part of a condition, and then I was classified with the bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I actually had an appeal against the assessment, and my appeal was won. I won the appeal. But I'm still on the medication. I wasn't game to drop it because of the different medication they give you. It does weird shit to you. You know, so I
Sure.
didn't want to mess around with it. So yeah, but I look back now and I see the same behaviour still going on, right? And what I mean by that, and I call them trolling without any hesitation. I'm quite comfortable with that. That is and even good blokes like Cerebus, right?
Hmm.
He'll do it as well, where you prank someone. You might play a prank on them. Now the general thinking is that it'll toughen you up. It's actually good for you to be pranked.
Well, I
And
think it's good for you in a couple ways. One, it's not just that it toughens you up, but it keeps you humble. I mean, that's the big thing. It makes you realize that you're not above these other clowns. That you're just a clown, just like anyone else. And I think that's what's most important about when I get pranked. It just reminds me that I'm just a dude that deserves the same bullshit that everybody else does,
yeah,
along with the same love and understanding that everybody else does too. Like, I'm not saying it's a harsh world. Pull up your pants and quit whining. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying that I think there is a bit of uh, I mean that's what families do to each other. That's in a way that's real love, pranking and fucking with people.
yeah, you're right. I mean, as long as you're uh, it's a difficult one because so many grey areas in it, but the it helps mature. I mean, I can remember being a young boy working with Dad, and the other guys on the work team would um, they would prank the new kids on the block, the new workers.
Hazing,
Hey,
hazing, it's called.
yeah, and it happens just about everywhere. It's a common
Sure.
practice.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, that's part of team building.
yeah, true. I
Because
agree.
next time the
But
new guy comes in, you get to be one of the guys that hazes him.
yeah, that's right.
And I guarantee you, it's almost always the guys that were hazed last that haze the worst.
Yeah. Now that's all good, and it's all fine when the people that are doing the hazing, right, um, do it like a cerebrus would do it, mindful of how things are progressing, etc., and no personality attacks or any of that sort of bullshit and rubbish going on. Where it differs for a troll, a definite troll attack, is that the troll wants to be seen within the group as a more of a superior intellect. So there are people that actually believe that they are smarter than the average teddy bear. So the humility angle isn't present. Now, on the humility angle, I agree 100%. We're all equal, right? No question on that point. For me, but if you pay attention, Jello, you will notice there will be people, and you may have been in rooms where you felt a little bit uneasy because you're a good spirit, um, and the trolling behaviour goes a little bit over the top, and it shows no mercy. Basically, it's sort of like feeding feeding the bad wolf, and the behaviours that emerge are very much like narcissism, very much like it. Now I've seen that, and I've been on the end of those sort of attacks. You see, when I was getting, and I promise you, it'll never happen to me again ever. And you might say, well, great, Rob's learned something from that experience, and that would be probably a reasonably true statement. But I promise you, no one will be able to wind me up again to that degree because I've learnt quite a bit about it, how things work. But no one because I was fighting back, you know, and getting quite angry and frustrated. No one was listening. See, one of the things Chaz does, and he's bloody an artful dodger at it, he doesn't allow you to explore your evidence, right? And that's extremely frustrating. He'll generalise an opposition point, make a general statement, but when you try and call him to account and say, all right, well, let's hear what your evidence is, he just rabbits on. He hops around all over the joint. Here's something that might help me prove a point. Get me and Chaz in the room and we'll do an honest debate on this two wolf stuff, and let's see if I can't show him up as a bit of an egotist. Now, how that would run is that I would make a point, I'd provide my evidence for my point, then he would attack that point because that's what he fundamentally does, and he's got to then provide evidence. Now, I've tried to pin him down several times in the last few discussions and get him to show me the nuance. He talks about the two wolves can't be true because there are many nuances of behaviours. So, in my thinking, that should, if there's so many of them, put them on the table. Let's just talk about one. I can't get him to talk about one.
Well, it depends on the argument, though, wouldn't it?
How so?
Well, I mean, every argument would be nuanced. You don't just go, okay. I think the argument would go something like this. Now, I can't really speak for Chaz, but I think if I were making the argument, here's how I would present it.
Mm-hmm.
You give the story of the two wolves. I say, well, that's nice, Rob, but it can't be real. And you say, well, I presented something as a fact, and here's my evidence, and this is what I see is the way it is, and what do you have? And my answer would be, well, it can't be real because there's so much nuance. And you say, well, what's this nuance?
Yes.
And my response to that is, it depends on the argument. No. It's like why peanut butter is better than cocoa butter or coconut oil or whatever. There's opinion and sentiment and peanut allergies and all kinds of little things to take into account. You can't just go heads or tails, one or two, black or white. It's not everything is binary, and that's what the two wolves story would imply, that everything is binary.
That's correct, and it does. And I'm comfortable with that as my position. But what I'm saying to Chaz is, if he's saying to me that it's more nuanced than that, all I want to know is, give me an example of something that is a behaviour. Hang on, wait a minute. Yeah, see, saying that as a generalisation, so, I can see the problem. Using the term nuanced is a generalisation, isn't it?
Sure, and in this case, it's intentionally done so, right? It's like there's just so much nuance in the world that you can't, and it has to be done. Like, we're not talking about one specific argument. That's why when you say name one of these nuances, it's like, well, we need to have something that we're talking about first.
But he's the expert. Shouldn't he be able to come up with something that would demonstrate clearly that two wolves... See, because how I hear what he's saying is, I hear what he's saying is that the two wolf story isn't... It's too simplistic. It can't explain everything. So that means that there must be scenarios, or at least in Chaz's world, that this two wolf story will not cover. Is that not correct?
Well, yeah, sure.
So then I'd ask Chaz, well, can you give me an example?
Right. and he can't be, or he chooses not to because he doesn't have an argument in mind.
I think so. I think that that's actually what's happening. And
Yeah.
so, we do the dance. I want to hold him to that point where he
You want
proves.
him to you want him to show you. I think maybe I can help.
Yes, go.
Maybe if you ask your question in a different way. Maybe if you put it like this, because I think this kind of sounds to me what you're looking for. Tell me if this is wrong. Can you show me a situation where the two wolves doesn't cut it, where you need a third wolf?
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I don't think he's saying the two wolves story is nuanced. I think he's saying there's nuance to life and to the world, and binary doesn't always just cut it. Sometimes you need a few more options than that. But I don't know exactly what he's saying because, I'm not in his head. Him and I haven't had this two wolves discussion.
Yeah, all right.
But that's where I differ on it from you. Like that's not just my opinion on what he would say. That's pretty much the way I would put it to you.
Yeah, okay. So do you have sorry about that, guys.
Oh yeah, I'll fix it.
Do you have a third, or how did you put it? So can you think of a scenario that's outside the two wolves? Or can you give an example? It's yours, Jello.
Is my echo gone now?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, that's all right. Keep going.
Okay. I mean anything where opinion would come into play.
Okay, let me think about that for a second. Are you able to make it a specific example at all, or not?
Yeah, like what's your favorite food? I know it's kind of weak and it's kind of stretching the point, but I mean it's I mean there isn't just two answers.
Oh, okay. That's
That's
really
what I mean by binary, on and off, one
yeah.
and zero. It's like
Okay.
it's like that's my problem with the whole two wolves thing. It's just everything in order for that to be a thing. Now, granted, I kind of dig the story of the two wolves as a metaphor and um, sort of a lesson on try to treat people right. I got no problem with the concept of two wolves, but I think you take it too far, Rob. I think when you say this is how reality works, I just think you're dead wrong on that.
Okay, that's fine. I understand. So if we get back to your opinion,
Hmm.
all right, let me just try and see if I understand that. So what happened was you said you ask a question of a person to see what their preference is, and because the preferences could be multiple choice, right? Not binary, not ones or twos. Um, then we say that that breaks the two wolf story. Well, no, it doesn't, because we're not talking about the same thing. The two wolf story is specifically about um, two primary instinctive drivers that lead to a situation where a person has to make choices between being selfish, or playing the advantage for the self, versus being for the group or the herd. being authentically selfless. That's what the story is about, and it's about those choices that we have to make in response to what happens in our environment. When you say that you ask me a question about preferences, and those are external items that I'm choosing from, right? That has no relevance to the self or to the person. It's not about the person. It's just about the options they have to choose from to, to make a meal or something. It's totally different from what I'm talking about, which is the internal drivers that force people to make a choice between serving the self and serving the other.
Recently Serb was talking about. I think he said like altruistic selfishness,
Yeah,
where self-preservation is for the good of the group,
yeah,
if it is for the good of the group.
yeah,
Take Gilligan's Island, for example. The professor would have had to have been pretty selfish with the coconuts. Let's face it, we could live without either Ginger or Marianne. One of those is important, right? Like, there's a bunch of guys on that island, but we don't need them both. The skipper and Gilligan, same thing. Either one of them can drive a boat. If they ever are able to figure out how to get off the fucking island, only one of them is actually necessary. But none of them can make a nuclear bomb, out of some coconuts and bamboo, except for the professor. So that dude, you know, um, he has to look at himself as, in a way, the most important, even though, without the skipper or Gilligan or both of them catching food, he don't eat, right?
yeah, that's right. Everyone plays their role. But I just want to go back to what you said about what Cerebus's point was, which was um, you um, altruism is a good thing, right? Now, the two wolf story accommodates that because both wolves are always in play. They never go away, right? It's all about choices. When you make choices, then you get certain outcomes. In a given time slice, you can only make one choice. You can't do two things. So you can't be, in relation to time, you can't be both good and evil. You're
Would
either.
you say that stealing is feeding the bad wolf?
Now, I would, but there are instances. Now, I need to express something pretty clearly
I
so
think
that
we're
we don't.
about to discuss nuance.
No, hang on. I understand. But I want to just preface the discussion by saying something that I think is really important, right?
Sure.
At the end of the day, if, remember, two wolves in play all the time.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, if you and I are on a desert island and there's only one fish to eat, we will potentially kill each other.
Sure.
The selfish wolf will dominate for survival of the individual. It's an extremely powerful force in humans. However, when you spoke about Gilligan's Island, right, you get a situation where people's specialties can be of advantage to the group.
Hmm.
Now, we run into a problem though, and they've done some studies in Berkeley University. If I haven't shown you the video, my apologies, but basically what they found, regardless of who the person was, right? So they could be the nicest person on campus or the worst person, didn't matter. What they found is that when they rigged a game of Monopoly such that the subject would win, always win, that person, because of the evil wolf inside us all, would notionally think of themselves as superior. They think that they were the ones that created the outcome, but they had nothing to do with it. It was all totally rigged. And then they exhibited behaviours that you would relate to someone that's a selfish person. You know, they had little respect for their opposition and things like that. So these things are in the mix all the time. It's just, you know, what you choose to do in any given moment or circumstance.
I'm sorry to be rude, but I need to wander off real quick. Gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back.
No worries, mate. Oh, the irony. Hey, Downey, you back? Jack? Bulldog, sleep or awake?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm listening. So I have my ears are listening, but my back is turned to the laptop.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's an interesting discussion with Jello. He's a good thinker, so he's certainly throwing out challenges, but I hold that he hasn't yet found a chink in the armour. He might think I'm perhaps waffling on a bit, but still don't think, I honestly don't think, or I'm not aware of him finding a chink in the Two Wolf story. And it hasn't presented anything that sort of convinced me that there is an alternative explanation other than the two, well, I should call them the two primitive instincts. So down, look at this guy Felix exists. How about that?
This is the guy who was the angel that was gonna come kill you.
Well, his hitman's coming to kill me. He'll be here tonight, I've been told. So I won't be here tomorrow. I'll be dead.
Is that
Jello,
your
Jello,
time or is it American time?
I don't know. I expect sometime in the next what is that? 3:30, 9.5 hours, sometime in there.
Well, I mean, it's 3:30 in the a.m. for me. So if she's in my time zone, tonight won't be like for 12 more hours or like 17 more hours.
Well, basically, if you come online around about the same time tomorrow, and I'm still here, we know that her angel isn't real.
Okay, that'll be the test.
That's it. So I'm just looking forward to having a chat to her tomorrow and saying, well, I'm still here. What happened with the angel? And she'll probably come up with some sort of story that he had another killing to go to and that I'm on the list.
Try to be kind, though, Rob.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Remember, humility, that's the word for the day, right? Humility? Kill them with kindness, Rob. Kill them with kindness.
That's true. That is a true philosophy. I employed that with great success at work. But I still can't help feeling, mate, this one needs a bit of a... I came up with a good idea, I think, and it's not even... It doesn't even make sense, really, but I thought only takes a flea to kill an elephant. Now...
Disease-ridden flea.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you trying to compare yourself to a disease-ridden flea, or in this metaphor, are you hoping to be the disease-ridden flea, Rob?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be a disease-ridden flea. You can be a disease-ridden flea if you want. I don't want to be a disease-ridden flea.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that, I kind of... One thing I've sort of observed is that if you reflect in nature, you can actually find solutions to things. And, you know, I was thinking that maybe this belief stuff is best conquered by the smallest of smallest points, rather than a gross, you know, a gross overstudy of the whole problem. Because I don't know that that works. All the guys that you see online and that, they're really well researched, but religion still exists. So I think that their strategy is not working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, where do we get to? We sort of said that. Where did we get to?
Well, before we move on, I heard Down's voice and wanted to say hello.
Go ahead.
My friend.
Down. Down, come to the mic.
Yeah, what do you need?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm sitting back and listening. Beasley doesn't think that you put a single chink in his armor.
I don't. Am I trying to put I don't think I'm arguing with him.
No, don't get it wrong. What I'm saying is, I don't think that you've been able to yet put a chink into the two wolf story. That's
okay. Well, then let's go back to the... Mind if I ask you a few questions, Rob?
Go ahead.
Would you say that stealing is feeding the bad wolf?
Okay.
I know you usually I know you usually prefer a yes or no answer.
Yeah. You cunning devil. No.
No, I'm not. Come on.
Feeling.
You think I'm trying to
No, that's good, mate. No,
on your eyes?
It's all good. It's all good. Go. You know, the better you challenge me, the better I like it. So, the answer to your question is... Now, I'm accepting a generality here. Stealing's bad because you're taking from another person.
So yes, that would be feeding the bad wolf.
Yes, because you're taking from a person. Now, I'm assuming it's legitimately owned and there's no other parties.
No. The bread is really his, and your family really is starving.
That then goes back to, remember what I said about when it's a life and death situation, particularly over food, you will feed the bad wolf.
Here's where I see it different than you, Rob. I don't see that as a bad thing. I don't see stealing a loaf of bread to feed your starving family as an evil act or a bad thing or whatever you would call it. If there's a good wolf in this scenario, I'd say you're stroking him well.
Yeah, no, but
this is the problem with nuance, Rob. This is the problem with nuance.
No, but I don't have a problem explaining it, and the explanation goes like this: is that the good wolf story is about the herd, right? So it's a scenario where you're always thinking of the other person. However, in this particular case, the thoughts come back to other people, the family, so there's a bit of good wolf going on there. But when you steal from the other person, that action is feeding the bad wolf. But you will do it. I guarantee you'll do it. And that's the reason that I mention, if you put two people on an island, right, and you give them one fish or whatever to survive, there will be a fight to the death. It's just unavoidable, because that's the you know the selfish survivalist coming out. Probably where we're getting confused. Yeah, I can see a problem. So probably where the confusion lies is that we call things good and evil, whereas it might be better if we call them selfish, selfless.
Sure. And could we also agree that there's a slight scale between selfish and selfless?
Sorry, a slight what?
I can fart louder than that. I am unimpressed.
Yeah. Hey, mate, Persian, mute yourself. Righto. Jello, we might just get to know Persian first, and then we'll get back onto it. Oh, actually, no, finish the question, mate. What was your question? Or comment? Jello?
He muted me.
What was your comment, mate?
I don't remember.
Hey, Persian, introduce yourself. Come on, Persian. It could. Here's the trolls. Now that sounds like Persian, doesn't it, Jello?
A little bit the same, yeah.
Just muting. All right. There we go. Anyway, where did we get to? Can't hear a thing. Yeah, well, it was making a noise. So he's gone out to refresh himself, I suppose. I don't know who Toaster Grow is, but I know he's a troller.
Oh, he's a nice guy. I think I met him in Down's room.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I'll take that back when he sort of introduces himself.
He hangs out with I can't remember his name now, Bop or something like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, anyway, where do we get to, mate?
I think we were talking about nuance.
Yeah.
I think we were discussing nuance and how sometimes the act you're doing while feeding the bad wolf is also feeding the good wolf, because feeding your family is feeding the good wolf.
Yes, it
Unfortunately, sometimes other people have to hurt in order to make that happen.
Well, that's why the story says, you know, the one you feed. It's clearly saying, right, those things don't go away. You know, there's nothing that happens in a person's life for these triggers or drivers or instincts or whatever. There's nothing that happens in life to drive them away. They stay there. They're resident, if you like. So, In any given moment, you have to make a choice. It's always about choice. The best moral choices are with the good wolf, right? They'll lead to the best outcomes for you and the people that you associate with. And the really interesting phenomena, and this is true, if you don't believe me, then ask the saints that you know, and by that I mean, you know, people that you regard as really, really, really nice people. When you take that stance of being authentically selfless in life, and you're more engaged and interested in the welfare of others, then what happens is you lose the fear of death. Very interesting phenomena. And it's something that Plato spoke about, something that Jesus spoke about. Most religions are built upon this idea of escaping death. They use things like resurrection. So, you know, it's a big ticket item. And, yeah, I find that all to be quite accurate and quite true and quite evident in so many areas. Sorry.
Oh, am I making echo again?
Oh, it's all right.
No, but if it is, it's easy to fix. I just can't hear it. I don't know if it's happening. I just got to be told.
Not now.
Okay. Yeah, all I got to do is switch my mic source and switch my mic and then switch it back.
Okay.
Takes me about 3 seconds while, you know, I just mute and get it done. But yeah, I just need to be told because I find that it's the noise cancellation of G Plus that does it, and the person who's actually making the echo doesn't hear the echo. So everyone else will be, why am I echoing? Why am I echoing? Are you making echo? Are you making echo? And the one guy that's actually making the echo is the only one that doesn't hear it. He's like, huh? What are you talking about? Every fucking time. It's a runaround, and people just think that nobody wants to take the blame. No, the guy that's doing it never hears it.
Yeah, well, that's right. I've had that experience. And I argued with the guys.
Right, exactly. I'm not causing any echo. I don't hear any echo. That's how we know it's you. I know.
It blew up into a big one, that one.
Everybody's been there, though. It's it's confusing as hell. It sucks.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute my mic here because I'm going to let my torch rip. But I can hear you. I just can't answer for about a good minute or so.
All right, mate. So down. Oh, pardon me. Hey, Vlad, what are you doing? Vlad, what are you doing? So this is Aussie Bob, and Aussie Bob is really a guy called Vlad. Well, he's not Vladimir. But
yeah, that video would have been better if he had actually knocked on your door.
What's that?
When Vlad drove by your house.
I've still got it, mate. Don't worry, I've still got the video. Yeah. You see, that's
it would have been better if he had the cojones to go up to your door and knock. Hi, Rob. Let's go out for lunch.
Don't encourage him. I don't want to go out to lunch with him.
He's a lovely chap. I think you'd have a good time.
No, mate. One of the things I learned from the Jesus speak was lying's not good for humans. All right. So if you're a liar and you don't admit to it, and I know you're a liar, then I got a problem until you sort of fess up that you've been telling lies.
You know something that both Jesus and I found out through our lives?
What's that, mate?
Telling the truth ain't always the best policy either.
Yeah.
They kill you when you tell the truth, Rob. They kill you for that shit.
Oh, yeah, but hang on, wait a minute. There's an answer to that too, because what he said, because the Pharisees were his, well, and Rome were his biggest headache. He said about the Pharisees when he was speaking to his students or pupils, he said, the Pharisees have stolen the keys of the knowledge, which is right, because they were selling a bullshit religion. And as for you, be as sly as, how's it go, simple as doves and as sly as snakes or something like that. And basically what that means is, you know, you can fib to the bad people. So that's okay, you know. I think that's important in life. I think you've got to be able to fib in certain circumstances. That
Sure,
only seems reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, right, in general discourse and all the rest of it, you should be straight and honest, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah, yes, I would agree with that. And I would also say that I personally, and I'm sure there are people out there that think I'm dishonest and I can't really, you know, whatever. But I personally feel compelled to tell the truth. And it's wound me up in hot water on a number of occasions. Um,
Yeah. Well, it does.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right. You are better off telling the truth. I mean, at least for the simple fact that it's easier to keep the truths in order than the lies. You know, keeping your story straight and whatever.
What a tangled web we weave when we set out to deceive.
Yeah, man. It can get pretty long and complicated. So, I think maybe just for if you want to take morality out of it completely, I would just say for easiness' sake, it's better to be honest.
Absolutely, yeah, true.
But you're gonna wind up with less friends. That's a fact. Less people will like you.
Yeah, and I agree with that actually. I got to say that the majority of us humans are flawed beings, and we're more comfortable amongst other flawed beings.
Speaking of flawed beings, just for the relevance of or just for full disclosure, I guess for the live, Vlad says in external, I would answer, but I have cognitive dissonance. Vlad, I think you are cognitive dissonance.
Well, he wears so many hats, right? So Aussie Bob, that's Vlad. That's where he's got cognitive dissonance up here. So Aussie Bob, he's Aussie Bob. He's Vladimir Putin. He's who else is he? He was Patrick for a while, masquerading around as Patrick.
That was funny. You got to. Did you ever hear him singing?
No.
Oh my God! Fly me to the moon. You know that kind of. Oh my God! It was crazy funny.
Well, it really hurt poor old Patrick because he was trying to get together a science group, and unfortunately Vladimir ruined his day with that one.
Well, I mean that's his version of it. Like,
well,
what if he's just boring and nobody would have shown up anyway?
That's possibly true.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a possibility, isn't it? You've talked to him. You know what the fuck I'm saying.
Well, he's hard company.
Yes. He's either boring or he's drunk and off the hook. You know?
Yes, Patrick's way or the highway. Oh, and the other one that Vladimir Putin masquerades as trollolololololin. So he's got about 4 personas to keep up. He's probably got more than that.
I wound up with, 2 sock accounts on accident. I only meant to make the one, and one of them was really becoming a problem. My YouTube account is SkyDaddy 2012. So when I made that account, it just automatically gave me a G+ account. So sometimes if I'm watching a YouTube video and it's a live hangout that's going on, I click on it. I'll go into that room as SkyDaddy 2012, not Jello Shots. I'm not trying to be all socky and sneaky like. I just who the fuck is this SkyDaddy guy? Oh fuck, I need an avatar or something. I need some dancing bears to let people know it's me.
Well, yeah.
It's funny how when I come into the room, you ask me if it's the real me. I don't think anybody impersonates me. I don't think anybody would want to wear a Jello Shots hat. Like that's, I think that would be like that would. I think you'd need a shower after you took that suit off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody wants to imitate me.
Yeah, but that's the damage these boys have done in it. I mean, so if you talk to someone and they're on mic, you know for sure that it's the person. Oh, here we go. Hang on, see if I can get this dude to speak. Persian. Speak.
He's answering in chat, external chat.
Who's that, Persian?
I think so. Let me see. Yep. Yeah, he says yes. Yes, speak.
Hang on, I'll get the chat window up. But I might just kick him in a minute. Because if he's not talking, he's not fair income. By the way, actually, I might need to call it quits.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, about 9 o'clock here, and we need some home time, I suppose.
Are you going to talk to us, Johnny?
How you going, Jello? What's up, buddy?
Holy shit! Are you yelling down a hall?
Yeah, it's just this poxy fucking microphone that I've got. Does it sound shit, does it?
Yeah, it does sound shit, but it's good to hear you anyway. How you been?
Oh, fucking, I've got all sorts of problems happening with me, Jello. Do you want me to spill it out for you?
Well, we are live.
Yeah, I know, but I don't care. I reckon the world should know.
Well, sure.
No, fuck it, I've changed my mind. It's my cognitive dissonance there, Jello. It's kicked in.
Is that what it is?
Oh, absolutely.
So are you still going with the definition that one of the things has to be true, Rob?
What's that? Sorry.
In order for cognitive dissonance to happen, are you still going with the thing that the whole one of the things has to be true?
Yes, I am. Until I get any evidence to the contrary.
Well, I was kind of telling you how I don't really think that one of the things has to be true. I think they just have to contradict each other.
Yeah, I thought about that, mate. But here's where I don't hold that view. because I argue quite often with religious folks, and one of the things that struck me, and it sort of struck me as quite odd, there were some behaviours that I feel that they didn't know, right? They weren't conscious of them happening, and there also seemed to be, like, I could talk to them about certain topics, and they'd counter argument, but somewhere in the discussion there was just one single thing or something that would set off this behavioural change. And again, I know it sounds spooky, but I just think it was, it was like there was a good wolf in there, because good wolves are about truth too, by the way. It's there was a recognition that something was recognised, and it was taken as a serious threat to the false premise. Now, I hold all religion to be a false premise, and I'm very convinced that that's actually a true statement. So, but what I was seeing was just at some point in the thing, something would trigger. It was like flicking a switch, and then the person would turn from Mr. Nice Christian, love the world, love your brother, love your father, come join us, come to church, that type of person, and then they turn into, a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde thing, and they'd start with personal attacks. They would also, they do personal attacks. Their mood would change. There was a nastiness in their personal attacks, and I've seen that behaviour in a seriously mature Christian person, like a theologian. And I saw this guy arguing with Aaron Ra, and Aaron made him go into cognitive dissonance, and this guy's behaviour, was really ordinary. So, yeah, that's where I'm sitting at the moment, mate. I mean, if I get any other information or if I learn something to the contrary, but that's what I feel at the moment. I think that the brain's able to identify something that's a genuine threat, that's a truth, and that's the trigger for cognitive dissonance.
Hey, Rob, Troll's here.
Hey?
Troll's here.
Yeah, he's also Persian, I think, isn't he? Or hey, troll, what troll, why do you masquerade as a Persian?
See?
What are you doing with the Persian thing?
I'm not Persian.
Yeah, it was you.
No, I'm Aussie. I'm just Australian.
Yeah, all right.
Rob,
now you see,
you don't even
see Jello. You see Jello. Trollolololololling has been telling lots and lots of fibbies, and I know it. And
do you know what bloody I am, Rob? Do you really want to know?
what's
You
that?
don't know, do you? I've been having
What's
you
that?
on, man. I'm actually Irish, man.
You're a Muslim.
No, I'm actually Irish, and I kid you not.
No, you're a
No,
Muslim.
I swear on my children, man.
Troll Roland looks like he's Lebanese to me, Rob.
Yeah, I'm going with Lebanese Muslim myself, mate.
I'm dark, but I'm actually Irish, man.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Serious. I'm dead set, dude.
Yeah, but you're a known liar.
If he's Muslim, he's a shitty Muslim. I'm just saying. Like I don't buy that one.
I'd be the most Catholic you've ever met.
Oh, wait a minute. No, hey, hang on. Hey, let's talk about Allah for a minute. Now, Trollololin, you know that Allah's not real, right?
Yeah, I'm Irish, dude. I'm serious.
I know, but you know that Allah's not real. It's a made-up story, right?
How many fucking Irishmen have you known follow Allah?
No, but I'm just asking you a simple question. You know that Allah, right? You know it's not a real thing.
I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know. I just can't assume that none of it's real because I don't know. I
Let's
don't.
get,
I just don't know, man. That's
yeah,
my.
but hang on. Got another question. So the next question is, uh, uh, now you know that the Persian Jews are running Islam, don't you?
They're running Islam.
Yeah, they're in control.
Well, look, Rob. I demand to know where their office is because I want to have words.
That's a good answer, mate. Appreciate
Well,
it.
I mean, obviously they'd have an office, right? Where do they do all this stuff from? Is there like a base or something?
Uh,
So,
in is it Iran? Iran, right? Iran, right?
yeah,
They got what is he called? A mufti or a who's the big leader in Iran of the Muslims?
the Ayatollah. He's called the Ayatollah.
Ah, that's him, Ayatollah. So that's one example, right, of a whole bunch of people being Muslims, right, that are under one bloke.
They're Shia. You got to remember, they're a very small minority.
Yeah, I know, but it's still one example. What I'm telling you is they're all connected.
No, because you're not speaking for the Sunni population. They don't accept that. Or the Shia. They actually fight with each other and kill each other.
Yeah, but these leaders don't give a shit about the people. It's all
Oh,
politics.
no, not true. Actually, they do.
Mm-hmm.
But they
No,
it's
no.
intertwined with politics, right? For the most part in Iran and in southern Lebanon, it's very intertwined with politics. So
Yeah. Hey, now, I've never heard an Irishman with such an interest in Muslim affairs.
no, I've been around though. I'm not
Welcome
just.
to the internet, Rob.
Hey?
I said, welcome to the internet, Rob.
Okay. All right, boys.
You might think of
Boys. What are we going to talk about?
huh?
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. I can't F and echo from Jello.
Oh, it's probably me. Thank you.
That's all right. Yeah, you're talking about the Ayatollah, man. You go that they're all connected.
Yeah.
What's all connected, Rob?
Well, the Jews and Islam, right? So the Persians took over Judaism, and they own it to this day. They took it over in 583 BC, and the Persian Jew created Islam.
It wasn't Persian.
It's
Yemenite.
all owned by the Persian Empire.
He was a Yemenite, the guy you're talking about, number one. He's not Persian.
Well, whatever. It's still owned by the Persian
That
Jew.
doesn't matter. The times and the places, that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. You know what I mean, though.
When you look at the big picture, mate, and that's where you find your answer. When you look at the big picture, that's where you find your answers. What you see is the Roman Empire on one side.
But you're making a mistake now. You go a Persian Jew. He wasn't. He was a Yemenite Muslim. It's a big difference, though. Do you see what I mean?
No, it's not. Jewish.
The starters in two different countries, and
no, it's all Jewish, and it's Jewish out of Babylon.
no, he was a Muslim. He was a Sunni Muslim.
Yeah,
That's
he converted, right? Isn't that right?
I don't know if he converted. No, I don't think so. But it's been contested anyway.
But he was a Jew, right? He was.
No one knows. You know that?
He was a fucking Jew.
No one knows, Rob. It's been contested and already, so most probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Where are we? Abdullah. IBN.
It's Ibn, which means son of, Saba.
I know that.
S-A-B. I'll even spell it for you.
What's his last name? Salam, isn't it?
S-A-B-A.
Here we go.
Hmm.
Abdullah ibn Salam was a Jewish rabbi.
Ugh, you're talking about someone else now.
No, I'm not. He was a rabbi before converting to Islam.
What's his name? Ibn what?
Abdullah,
Right.
A-B-D-U. I'll give you the link.
Abdullah what?
I'll give you the link.
Salam.
I'll give you the link. There's the link. Abdullah ibn, which means son of Salam.
Oh, I'm talking about the first Jewish rabbi who converted. Oh.
No, this dude is the guy behind Islam. I got that from a Jewish fella.
Yeah, you don't listen to a Jewish fella.
No, this it was Reuven, and Jello knows Reuven.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ibn Saba. I was like,
Jello, you know Reuven, don't you?
oh yeah, no, he doesn't know, man. What are you talking to him for? The guy is like he gets in the debates on the Google, man. He's not an Islamic scholar. He's not an expert on it.
Yeah, you don't forget, I don't take just that little bit of information. I look at the big picture.
And
Yeah, and the big picture is the Persian Jews started Islam.
that's you're just saying that, man.
No, it's what happened.
No, it's not what happened. You're just saying.
It is. Anyway, let's move on. Jello, what do you want to talk about? Jello, come back, Jello. Trollololololling, you can have the floor if you wish.
No,
I'm not talking to you about Islam anymore. You get too upset.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. The only thing I don't like is like the misinformation, man. When you go, it did happen, and I'm like, that's fine. It's not like it's affecting anyone. But the thing is, it's not true though. And you have to just like maybe look into it more, or maybe ask me why isn't it true, you know, or whatever. There are certain things that are, but just not that.
Well, you know, you've got to remember that I know you think he might exist, but he doesn't. Allah doesn't exist. Angel Gabriel doesn't exist.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't. I'm not really
the literature in the Quran is clearly from the mindset of a 7th century Muslim. It's not of a modern day person, the way they look at the world. So it's all bullshit. It's all made up crap. But you got to ask yourself, well, if that's the case, why is it all made up crap?
No, it could be up, but it wouldn't be because of what you said.
Sorry?
It wouldn't be because of what you said, though. Do you know what I mean?
Well, hang on. Let's go to the other side, to Rome and
Look, Robert, hang on for a sec. Like, when you say this guy invented it, the Jews invented it, like, you got to understand that guy you're mentioning has nothing to do with the Quran being written, right? He wasn't there. You know what I mean? He wasn't. And then when the Quran came, what made the religion is like basically the hadith of what the Prophet did. So if the Prophet Muhammad went out and did that, everyone tries to emulate him, and that slowly became the religion. Things like prayers, they were done by Muhammad. He had nothing to do with it, or anything with what you might think, that Jewish guy, or Jews, had nothing to do with it. That's pretty much half the religion is the praying, and all the rest, you know, it'd be some in the Quran and some is hadith as well. And that's religion.
Yeah, but it's bullshit, mate.
I'm not saying it's not bullshit. I'm just saying talking about it just as a religion. I'm not saying is it real or not real. That's
but hang on. I'll try and explain it to you a different way, right? Let's see if we get an idea. Right, now, Kim Dynasty, North Korea.
Yeah.
The guy that leads the country says he's a god.
Yep.
Agreed? He's not a god, though, is he? He's not a god.
He's ready, my love.
He's not a god, is he?
No, he's not a god. I
Right.
don't
So
know.
he's running.
Not a god.
He's running.
but
He's running a mind control scam. Do you agree with that?
No, he's just probably just you know what I mean? Just controlling the population from any uprise, sort of thing, or trying to scare the little person, which is quite normal. Not just him, but it's quite a normal tactic, right?
Well, not really. It's actually pretty appalling. What you know, for the people living in North Korea.
It's very prevalent through Europe. When you look through
Well,
Europe, modern and ancient histories, you'll find the same.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's the point I was going to make to you. This is not a one-off phenomena where you get these leaders that run these cults, right? And they paint themselves in with God. Well, come back to Christianity now, and 70 AD, and you got the Flavians, the Roman Empire prior to 70 AD ran cults of personality. Caesar was painted as a god, right, before the people. And if you come forward, there's a very strong group in atheism that say that Jesus is a mythical character, and that the story part of it is certainly true. So, but it's the same phenomena, right? You've got the guys that are running the show are running a God story to give them control over a population. Do you agree?
Yeah, just
right. Now, why? Hang on. Why would Islam be any different?
No, it's not that it's not. How can I say it? It's not that it's not subject to the same sort of, dishonesty as anything else, right? Of course it is. But what you have to do, if you're going to do that, you'll have to prove it, which you can't. You'll never be able to do that if it is. You just can't.
Well, I don't have to, mate. The way I approach it is this. I kill an elephant with an infected flea. You've just got to find the right thing. So this comes back to cognitive dissonance, right? If I can prove, right, the theory is that people have this ability to recognize truth. And that's the thing that triggers cognitive dissonance. If I can prove that, then that will be the evidence. That's all the evidence we'll need. But when you get a person that's in a religious or a belief position, and you actually get them to break that belief, what happens is they then quickly start to recognise this whole lot of other information that they accept as truth.
Yeah.
So they then become a voice for for the change.
Not everyone believes everything is truth with religion, even if they're in the religion. So, like, just say with Islam, for example, how can I say it? So, for example, let's just say ISIS, right? They take over a town of secular Muslims, right? And they make them fundies. Does that now mean that those secular Muslims going to believe fundamentally anything when before he didn't give a shit? You know what I mean? It was just normal. I don't think so, man. You know what I mean?
Well,
so mindset is not changed from before.
Yeah, but hang on. Think about the North Koreans, right?
Yeah.
You've got a whole population of North Koreans that seem from the outside to all believe this bloody nonsense that Kim Il-sung coughs up. And it looks like, it seems like they're all being taken over.
North Korea is a little bit different.
Yeah.
North Korea is a dictatorship, right? They're not religion.
Yeah, but no, it is a God thing. It's a Godhead thing because he says he told the people that he was a God, and he also told them that he could read their mind. Right?
That's to scare them into thinking not to do anything, so they can't form little groups to attack them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a scam.
Yeah.
But he's pulled it off, right? He's actually got those people believing that shit.
Oh, wait, hang on. To say that it's a scam, now you got to be careful now, because maybe that guy did believe he was, maybe brought up to believe he was by other people. Then to him, it's not a scam, because he would never scam anyone. He wouldn't need to. He's a god, right?
No, hang on, mate. That doesn't work. I'll tell you why.
Why doesn't it work?
Well, these guys have got magic tricks. Like, I remember hearing something like they play 18 holes of golf with 18 strokes or something ridiculous like that. Or they've got magic about them. You know, it's just propaganda. He would know that he couldn't do his magic tricks. He has to.
Maybe
He couldn't fool himself. Eh?
Maybe you can understand the power of persuasion, right? Other people can convince him that he has. Just saying, like, it might start raining one afternoon. They'll say, "Thank you, God," to the guy, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I did that." You know what I mean? You won't.
Yeah, but when he goes to read someone's mind, right, it won't work. You know,
Maybe
be touching dials, and he won't be able to tune in.
I can actually absolutely give you and show you an example of this, right? And there's and I'll tell you, you gotta listen to this, right? What you're talking about, right? What I was saying, and what I can show you a video that can prove that. There's a martial art that they do in Japan, right? They don't use any hands or feet. They don't actually hit. They believe in the power of the mind, right? And they have a teacher who teaches them, and everyone else props up the teacher. This teacher, the idiot, decided to get into a ring and fight an actual fighter, right? And there's a video of
I've seen that shit. Dim Mock, Death
That's
Hunt.
right.
Yeah, but wait, hold on though. That guy was a scam artist, and it was proven. Because here's the thing.
Was a scammer, that guy.
That guy was totally a scam. Now there is a thing where if a lie is told often enough, you might start to believe it. I'm totally down with that. I really believe that's a thing. But that guy had classes at a certain time in the afternoon, and at a certain time every day they would do an exercise where they would focus their key energy on these pillars.
That's the one, man. That's it, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, there was something about, because of the structure of his building, he realized that at a certain time every day, his building would groan. His building would settle a little bit every day at a certain time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He actually held classes during that time, so he could incorporate that into his fraud.
It was so bad.
There's no doubt that guy was a scam artist.
I don't. Well, if it wasn't proven, right? Because one thing I noticed is that all his students used to fucking prop him up and everyone around him and make him believe that he was good. So when he got in that ring, do you remember when he got his ass kicked? The look on his face, like
I'm sure he went in that ring with full confidence. Yeah, it really seemed.
He was. He was convinced to do something, right? And when he couldn't, he was like shocked, right? And he just,
why didn't it
work?
work?
Realize it, man.
He was supposed to be dead. Why didn't it work? You're right. It did look like he was totally shocked that he didn't kill that guy without touching him.
Yeah, and that's the power of persuasion, man. So the leader of that group, that instructor Rob, thought he was actually like a god. He had magic powers, right? Even though he couldn't, and he doesn't, obviously, right? But his students and the people around him used to prop him up and make him believe that he had it. You see what I mean? So you said that.
Yeah, when we talk about the ability to read minds,
yeah,
and goodness knows, I don't know what other godly characteristics they put in the propaganda, but just read minds. You can't read a person's mind. That's bullshit.
Maybe he was like a full ego leader, narcissist, or whatever. He goes, I want to read your mind. And then the guy who's reading the mind, the little servant, goes, oh my God, you got it right. You know what I mean? You know that's what's going to happen. So this guy now really believes that he's like...
Yeah, I understand what you said. What you said was that the guy that's having his mind read is being compliant because of the power structure. But what I'm saying to you is different. I'm saying to you, the person that's supposed to have the mind reading talent
Yep.
knows that they can't read minds.
And I'm saying that with enough persuasion, they'll actually believe they can.
No.
Well,
Because the moment they try it, it'll fail. It's
that's
just
what I'm saying. It's
not
true.
part of reality.
That's what he's saying by this dim mock guy that gets in a ring with like some karate guy or whatever, and it's like, and he gets his ass whooped, and he's truly surprised that his death touch didn't work. Like that he believed in this scenario that Trollan is setting up here. The dude believed his own hype.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm trying to say, as plainly as possible, right? This reading minds, every time someone walks by, right, he should be able to read their mind if he's got this ability, is a common phenomenon that the person would live day in, day out. It wouldn't work, and he would know that, I'm saying. There's no way he wouldn't know that.
I tend to side with Rob on this one. I think that beloved leader knows that he can't do that. I think also that beloved leader knows he poops and pees.
He could absolutely mean he could, but you also can't discount the fact that he might be persuaded to believe that he can.
No, I'm sure it's. Well, I don't believe that he could be persuaded to believe that he doesn't poop or pee.
Well, you can. You can get that.
No, I don't believe it. I think that he knows he urinates and defecates and lets that lie be spread about him.
Oh, I mean, look, Yeah, I mean, with the power of persuasion, you can be convinced of anything. Obviously.
Well, hang on a minute. Can you read my mind?
No, I can't. I've never claimed first, but I don't have people around me.
But I understand that. Now, I could tell you 100 times that you could read minds. Do you think that your ability to read minds will change?
I don't know. I mean, I get. Well,
no, mate. No, it's not a hard question. You will not be able to read minds.
Not really. Not times. But if you were a leader in like that Korean guy, and you were born and raised all through your childhood and all through your teens and your young adulthood and your adulthood, you had numerous amounts of people, like, you know what I mean, around you convincing you that you do, then absolutely I probably would. And then what would happen, I'd be like you, Rob. I would try and read your mind, and you would say, nah, that's wrong. And I'll be like, yep, nah, it's right, actually. You know what I mean? That's what would happen.
What you're missing and what you're not accepting is that the guy, right, will never be able to read minds, and he'll know that, regardless of any propaganda, because the moment he goes and tries it, it won't work, unless he's got someone, as you quite rightly pointed out, that's subservient and submissive, and they just say, oh, yes, you got it right.
I don't think he's missing your claim, Rob. I think he's making an opposing claim. You're saying that the guy is always going to believe what is, and he's saying no, that sometimes people will believe something that isn't is.
Look, well, Rob,
no, that's not correct, because the reading of the mind is something that humans can't do, right? It's part of our reality. We just don't have the ability to read a person's mind. That's real. That's truth. That's just the fact of the human condition. What I'm saying is that, so that's not a belief. That's just a fact. Until someone, comes up and without using magic.
Oh shit.
Hey.
I think I'm on the wrong damn mic here. Do I sound like shit?
No, it sounds fine here.
No, a little bit. You're a little bit distant, like.
How's that? Is that better?
Fucking heaps better.
Oh, yeah. Okay. God damn it. I hate that other mic.
Like, Rob, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying at all. Like, there's nothing. I'm not discounting it. It could have well been that. But what I'm saying could be another thing too, because you said that he could not know. I'm thinking, man, well, you know, if you've been brought up like the way I've just described, then you probably would. You know what I mean? You probably would. You wouldn't. And remember, like, the rational thinking isn't like the same rational thinking we have today. Do you know what I mean?
No,
So,
no, no. Hang on. You're still ignoring the reality, right? The reality is that even though he might be told 1,000 times that he can read minds,
yeah.
when he faces the reality and looks at, you know, a pretty girl that walks by, and he decides, because he believes, this is your believe word, he believes that he can read minds, you know, he'll find that he can't, because that's just the reality. What I'm saying to you is, don't give an arsehole don't give an arsehole a way out if there's no way out.
How will he know? How will he know that he can't read
What's
minds?
that?
Well, how will he know that he can't read?
Because he'd have to give a report to the person. Well, hang on.
Yep.
No, wait a minute. He'd have to give a report to the person, put it in a sealed envelope, right? No, even for his own benefit, just to test it, right? He'd have to write it all down, and then independently he'd have to go over to that person and he'd say, can you just write down what you were thinking at X amount of time?
Because that's how they did it, right?
What's that?
Because that's how they would have checked, right?
But that's how you can prove that he doesn't, he's not able to read minds. But we're still going down bullshit city there, because what I'm trying to explain to you is, I know without any doubt that a person would know that they can't read minds. You see, to get your result, they'd have to cheat. Now, if they've got to cheat, they know they cheated. So they're still in the know. There's no way round it. Your position is wrong. Anyway, here, I've just got it up. I just wanted to read about the dudes, see if we can find out what tricks they do. So Kim Jong-il was the center of an elaborate personality cult. Yeah, so that happened in North Korea. Inherited from his father and founder of the blah, blah, blah. Defectors have reported that North Korean schools deify both father and son. One defector wrote, to my childish eyes and to those of all my friends, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il were perfect beings, untarnished by any base human function. But, you know, you look at them, they're ordinary looking dudes. There's nothing special about them.
Hey, to
us.
To us, yeah.
No, you just look at them. They're a little bit podgy. There's nothing special about them. Now, I was convinced, as we all were, so they're all convinced, that neither of them urinated or defecated, right?
That's right.
So this is one of their party tricks. They don't go to the toilet.
With Kim Jong-il, they say the same thing about Kim Jong-il.
Yeah, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. They don't urinate and they don't defecate.
That's right. That's what they say. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Now, do you think that's true?
No.
So now, hang on. Hang on.
But they had a bag hanging out of them,
right? Do you think that they know that that's propaganda? Because they actually would defecate and urinate, wouldn't they?
See now, in today, it's most people wouldn't believe that, right? I would just suggest that most people wouldn't. I'm just granting them a bit more, you know, knowledge of things. But back in the day, remember how closed off they were? If you close them off, then obviously the population would be larger who believe that the same thing.
What's that? I didn't get that point, mate. Make it again.
Okay. At the moment, people say they don't have internet. They actually do have internet, right? That's a bit of a bullshit, you know. So of course that they're very limited, but I'm sure if they wanted to look up the function of a body, they would understand it, and they have access to the literature of that. Now, if you go back 50 years, right, they wouldn't have had that. So there would have been a larger section of the population that would have believed the same myth, which they did have the same myth back then for his grandfather and such like that. So, yeah, man, like that's again power of the persuasion, man. That's just in reverse from the leader down.
Yeah, but here's my point. I get the persuasion, and I know it's a real problem. It's actually the problem behind religions, right?
Massive problem.
It's the same phenomena, right? Where they tell these godly stories, and all the bullshit.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is this: these leaders, right, know, because every day they've got to urinate and they've got to defecate. They know that they aren't living up to the God image.
Yeah, King Johnny knows he's not a god.
They do it. They run these scams for personal power and advantage. It's a political move that gives them political power.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's why they.
Fucking appalling. Yeah, but you can't excuse them. There's no excuse here that they believe that they're gods or whatever, because the fact is they ain't living up to the godly image. They go to the bathroom and they go to the toilet.
That's right.
Yeah, so
they
know this shit, and that's the same way I look at the people behind religions. They know what they're doing. You don't give them any excuses. They don't deserve it. They cause untold havoc across this planet, and they know, to give them an out or an excuse, or just say that they're a belief or whatnot, is inappropriate. But the trick is, who are the ones in the know, and who are the ones that are just the innocent, servants of the story? That's a question. Well, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? But now you got to look at other things too, man. In Japan they have that. The guy who did the chemical attacks. That little group.
Yeah.
The cult.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at all the members, or most of the members, anyway, the vast majority, anyway, they were very highly educated people, like doctors, you name it, engineers, the whole lot. And they were intelligent people, and they were still persuaded by a much more or less educated person than themselves. Do you know what I mean? Into believing stuff. So that is the power of persuasion.
Oh, yeah. Look, don't get you wrong. But I guarantee to you now, no one could persuade me in any direction, because what I've learned is that if I'm to judge anything, I want my evidence. I want my proof. So if you say to me that you can walk on water, well, I want to see you walk on water. If you say that you've got a God and he's gonna come and kill me if I don't fall into line, well, I want to meet this God.
Yeah.
As you mature, you become less susceptible to these things. But I mean, we're talking about a whole country, North Korea, and the difference there is that you've got the nut running at the head of the helm, and so he has all the power, military and otherwise. And if he says jump, and he says he doesn't poo and wee, then that's what you have to accept. Otherwise, your life is at risk. So these guys, nothing more than bullies. They destroy people's lives. Turn them into little robots and slaves. Shocking stuff.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. See, you as a Muslim, me as a Jesus follower, we could be friends if we could just piss off the religion.
I don't want into any religion.
I did. I'm only stirring.
Yeah, no, because look, Muslims, I'm telling you, Muslims will always say they're Muslim. They never say they're not. The only ones that don't say they're not, are some Shia, right? They hide themselves or whatever. But they'll say they believe in God. They'll muck around before they'll tell you.
Yeah.
That's
But
it.
if you piss the religion out of the mix, right?
Yep.
If you just get rid of that completely, then they could all potentially, and I just say potentially, right? Because they're still humans at the end of the day, but they could potentially all have better relationships and look at each other as equals. So, get rid of the tags. Muslim, get rid of the Christian tag, get rid of the bloody um, black person's tag or the yellow person, Chinese person's tag.
Oh, look,
Look at it as humans, hey?
about tags, man. Like, I guess you be thinking, and it's not just you, right? But I reckon most people here, if not all people here, think that people in the Middle East, I bet you think they're all like real religious, eh? Like,
No, they're not. They're not.
all of them go to the mosques all the time, and
No, they
every
don't. They
visit,
don't. They don't. They're not.
no,
But you've got the religious component, right? The communities that are religious, they're the problem. If you just say, all right, your God doesn't exist anymore, gone, and you're all now to regard each other as equals and equal worth.
in the Middle East, there are religious fanatics that are a problem,
Hmm.
unfortunately, right? But
Well,
it's getting
it's not.
better.
I was just going to say it's not. It's not. See, even those guys, they're like the folks in North Korea. They're not really the problem. The problem is the institution of religion. That's the problem. Piss that off, and everyone can return to normal. Be normal human beings. It's that it's this religious thing is it's like the ego mind. It's a notional idea in your head, a notional reality, right? A reality that says that there's a sky daddy or a sky god, that the angels are real, the devils are real, and hell's real, and paradise is real, and all of that nonsense.
You got to be
So,
careful with the term sky daddy. You got to be careful when you use the term sky daddy. That a lot of religious people get offended.
well, that's okay. It's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Their book said it. I could take them to the page.
No, I
Wasn't
know.
I didn't invent it. I didn't invent it.
No,
It's their book.
it doesn't matter if you didn't invent it. It's just using it. I didn't invent the N word, but I choose not to use it, right? Because I know it's derogatory. So it's kind of, you know what I mean?
No, no, because I do need things to sort of up the ante, if you like, or challenge the person. And Sky Daddy is one of them. But I can back to the actual passage in the book and say, well, look, this is where that term came from.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware of that, though.
Yeah, can you explain to me why he's sitting up on a throne, Yahweh, above the firmament over a circularly flat Earth?
That's it. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I just,
Right.
yeah, look, if that's what they believe, that's what they believe.
No, it's okay. You can laugh at that. That's all right.
Yeah.
I always do.
No, it's just funny when you hear it, like, you know what I mean? But
When you actually say it out loud, right? It's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, right. If that's what they believe, Ryan, then that's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where are you, Ryan? Haven't seen Ryan for a while.
Yeah, no, he's gone up doing it. He's doing it. He's gone off the grid, man. You don't know. Ryan's doing it. He's gone off the grid. He's gone bush. He's just out there with a little pocket knife and an axe, fighting off the friggin' raccoons and freaked out from all the bears, right? But he's doing it. He's getting it out of the system. He's out of the system and he's off the grid. That's what he's doing. That's what we haven't heard from him.
We need to save young Ryan.
I like him just the way he is.
No, mate. You see, it hurts him. You know, he's isolated when he shouldn't be. He doesn't need to be isolated. He can embrace all humanity, but he isolates because of that flat Earth thinking. It's not a good thing for him. Causes him angst. And then you guys make fun of him.
I'm his friend though. He likes to be the boss out of everyone.
Yeah.
I don't make fun of Ryan. I don't hang around with Ryan anymore.
Because I'm like this. I'm actually just like this. This is what I'm like this all the time. Normal. That's why, and he appreciates it, right?
All right. Well, you and Ryan sail off into the sunset.
He's my new, yeah. You just got to remember, in this yard, boys, he's got his hands in my pocket, right? So you don't touch him.
Right. Or what? I'll get more pizzas delivered.
Let's talk about pizza delivery.
No, because I end up getting it.
That's a good conversation topic. I like that one.
Yeah, so Jello, what the boys did is they sent me pizzas for a couple of nights.
Were they delicious?
No, we had to send the boys away.
Oh no, you didn't eat the pizzas?
No. Well, you never know. They might have been spiked.
Oh, I don't think the pizza company would do that.
No, that's true. That's true.
Spiked with what?
I jest. I'm only mucking around.
With Muslim food?
Oh, heavens forbid if I had to ever eat Muslim food. My goodness.
No.
Hang on, I'll just go back here. I want to see if Kim Il-jung. Many North Koreans believed that he had the magical ability to control the weather.
He did.
Based on his mood. So if he was having a bad day, might be because he's sort of blocked up, you know, his bowels aren't working. But if he's having a bad day, then the weather's going to be bad.
Look, let's look at this objectively, right? If they say he did, I don't have any proof that he didn't. Okay, so that's cool. If I say he didn't, I'm pre-supping. I don't want to be pre-sup, you know what I mean?
Yeah, see, that's the typical bloody religious yada yada, or the
They do. I know. That's what they do, right?
presuppositions, bloody. What are the other stuff they come up with?
They're still right.
Fallacies.
They're right to say that. They've got every right to question.
Presuppositions, fallacies. Yeah, but they don't back it up with any evidence. They just make the glorified statement, and then they want to say, "I won." I won.
Yeah, that's the debate. I don't care about the debate, though, man. I get it. It's for 2,000 years people have been postulating about God. For fuck's sake, man. You know what I mean? Seriously. God exists for 2,000 years.
I call it LARPing.
It's just a fucking points, man.
What's laughing?
I call LARPing, live action role playing.
Exactly.
Postulating about God is just like walking around playing make believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back, boys.
I'm trying to coin this term, man. I'm trying to pass a meme around. I'm trying to get this thing started. I want people to grab onto this one.
Hang on a sec. I'll come back in. Oh, no. Does he know? Should I go get cognitive dissonance? Yeah.
I think you've already got cognitive dissonance.
Lithium! Anyway. So, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, cool.
You got to admit, Rob is much more reasonable than he was this time last year.
You know what? Like, when I talk to him, he's really cool. I get him at nights like this, and he's good. Every night I get him. And he's all cool. Gohan!
I was just putting on my dancing shoes. I wanna put on my boogie shoes.
Gohan, you cognitive dissonance?
You see the bonfire I got going, man. I got a nice fire going.
What kind of fire have you got going? What kind of fire, Gohan?
I'm at the casino spending thousands of dollars, and you're fucking sucking your mother's God, I could play like this for a little while. I'm hanging out by the fire right now.
What kind of fire?
How many different kind of fires are there?
Sick motherfucker, you.
I'm confused.
What are you confused about, Jello?
How many different kinds of fires there supposed to be?
Fires?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, like what? Can you...
Exactly. You see why I'm confused?
Why has it become topical?
Well, a guy came in the room talking about I'm sitting by the fire. Trolling says, "What kind of fire is it?" And I'm lost.
Yeah, fires are fires. Move on.
What if it's a hellfire?
No, they don't exist, mate. Actually, let's look up bloody hell, because I think I've got a position on resurrection, not erection.
How about the Hellfire Club? You ever checked into them?
No, who are they?
I think it was like it was a group sort of like the Rat Pack, only a little bit more hedonistic.
It doesn't sound like my scene.
Hollywood fat cats that like drugs and alcohol and weren't afraid of excess.
Ah, okay. So hell appears in several mythologies and religions. It's commonly inhabited by demons and the souls of dead people. A fable about hell, which recurs in folklore across several cultures, is the allegory of the long spoons. Hell is often depicted, blah, blah, blah. So where did it start? Polytheism. Osiris, Middle Kingdom. Baal, Underworld. Greek. Europe, Asia. Fucking hell. Alright. Hell's been around for African hells include Haida mythology. So hell's been around for a while, but resurrection hasn't. That's not been around for a while, and that came from Zoroastrian religion. So I use that every now and then to sort of throw a spanner in the works. Hey, Gohan.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, mate. What's happening?
Not much.
Oh. What time is it in your world?
Oh, that's a secret.
Okay. Mine's 9:51.
Korhan's from Lebanon.
Are you
Oh, why did you tell him? Oh my.
from? So, Gohan, are you a Muslim?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Christian?
No.
Atheist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it is a good thing. So, does it give you any heartache at all in your community?
No, I have to hide it from everybody.
Ah, so what presents do you put on? Muslim?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to hear that. See, um,
Yalla, انت Korhan. Korhan.
Yeah.
Korhan yule. Yeah, he's Muslim. I just
Oh, I have to get those ISIS bed sheets. You know, I sleep in ISIS bed sheets.
I just worked it out.
hmm.
No, he's an atheist. He's not a Muslim.
Oh, I take him on his word.
Yeah.
The thing about you know, what you are or who you are becomes apparent in the fullness of time.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to be
Yeah.
hanging around Korhan for a long time to work what he is. If he likes it enough to talk to you, yeah.
Yeah. So that means you must have to live your life a bit of a false life then. So do you have to do you go to the mosque and?
No, we don't have to go to the mosque. You know, it's there are many secular people.
Oh, all right.
We don't go to the mosque.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you're not on your own.
How many times have you been in the mosque, Korhan?
Yeah, hundreds of times, I guess.
So
When I was young, yeah.
Yeah.
So were you a believer at any point?
Not really.
So always an atheist. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something like that.
Is there a God?
What do you mean?
Is there such a thing as a God? A creator
Yeah,
God?
we created God, of course.
Oh, there is?
Humans, they create their gods, yeah.
Ah, yeah, good. Yeah, so there's no such thing as a God, right?
Only the ones that we create.
Good. Yeah, okay. Jeez, I thought. ah. See, what I'm interested in, Gohan, if you haven't picked it up yet, is how do you break belief? That's what I'm
Oh,
very.
that's impossible. That's impossible.
No, what do you say to that? What do you think?
It's impossible, man. Only step by step. You know, you can do it it would take centuries to make that revolution.
Why do you think it's such a stubborn beast then?
Oh, that's the human nature, you know.
Okay, well, let me see if I.
I'm not saying religion is the human nature, but you know, indoctrination, and all that.
Yeah, well, the way I frame it, to give it a frame, is the ego mind, right? So that's where, as a person lives a life, they grab ideas and notions about their identity. That's what I mean by ego mind. That thing, it's almost like it has its own built-in defense mechanisms to protect it from destruction. Now, how could I give an example? So
He knows. He's watched you heaps.
yeah. Oh, okay.
He knows the two walls. Don't mention them again.
It's only you people that have an ego issue of yourself that don't like hearing the two wolf story.
No, I don't have an ego.
Part of your defense mechanism. Hey?
I don't have much of an ego, if at all.
Yes, you do.
No, I reckon everyone's got some, but I'm like, they're just...
Well, we all do, mate. There's no exceptions here.
Everyone's got it.
Yeah. But like me, right? I probably have far less of an ego, although for you think otherwise, but far less of an ego than you do.
Well, if you say so.
Yeah, it's true.
But what would other people say? I reckon other people would say the other way around, right?
Sorry, what's that?
I reckon most people, if they seen us, say the other way around, that you would have more... Hey, Jello.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, who's got more of an ego, me or Rob?
I don't know, but I do know that people that don't have egos wouldn't argue over who has more of one. There's a line. Weird Al Yankovic has a line in his Amish Paradise song that says, "My brother, I know I'm 100 times more humble than thou art," and that line has always just kicked me in the funny place, you know.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And that's kind of what I'm hearing when I'm hearing this conversation. It's kicking me in the funny place. I'm digging this. You got a bigger ego than me. No, you got a bigger ego than me. That's good stuff. I like that.
Yeah, but see, I
Come on, Rob. Tell us how big your ego isn't.
No, Rob, I wasn't the one mentioning it. Rob was saying...
I know what was going on. I'm well aware. And Rob's very uncomfortable right now. That's an uncomfortable laugh you're hearing out of Rob.
No, it's not, mate.
Oh, I heard it. I know what an uncomfortable laugh sounds like, Rob.
Oh, all right. All right. No, but what I was doing, right, was now Vlad, where did he go? He's gone. maybe I hurt his ego. No, what I was doing, and I'm always doing this, right? I'm continually working on him with his ego. So every time a topical thing comes up, I like to play into it just to give him something to think about. Anyway, Gohan, what I was going to say is hello, cognitive dissonance, you're back again.
Yeah.
Vlad, I was just saying that I often will take an opportunity to have a little bit of a dig about, you know, your ego.
No, I don't really. Not much of it.
No, well, you do, mate. Now, but don't worry, it's all right.
I don't reckon I do, but if other people say I've got an ego, then I probably do then. But if you say I do, that doesn't mean I do. But
Yeah.
if a bunch of people or because I'm not. If I do, I'm totally unaware of it.
Yeah, okay. Now, so Gohan, where did I get? I was just saying. So belief is a problem.
Yeah.
Belief is notional. Yeah, back in a minute. The ego what I understand the ego to be is it's like this identity of who we are, how we see ourselves. And we construct that through life. And part of it is based on falsehoods, things that aren't actually true. And this is where we get to the problem of religion. Religion, we end up with this identity and we attach ourselves to this thing called a God. That's the way religions work. And they suck you into that sort of thinking. And we have ideas about angels, we have ideas about devils, but they're a notional idea inside the head. They don't exist. They never will, never have, and never will. And so what I'm passionate about is trying to find a way to break through beliefs that are false by their very nature. I don't know, I sort of lost my train of thought there. Mucking around too much with Vlad.
Look into my eyes, Rob. Look into
Why?
my...
Why?
They're sexy, aren't they?
What, you mean the Aussie Bob photo? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, no, you can't see the new one. Oh, you'll see the new one soon enough.
Yeah.
You'll like it.
You're changing.
You'll like it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you'll like it.
If you put up my wife, I'll be pissed off for about 5 seconds.
I'm not going near that one, man. Dude, don't even go there. I'm not going near that. And to the fucking... Thanks whoever it fucking was, because fucking... I had to tell Rob that it wasn't me, right? But it's not me, that one.
Oh, dear. What are we going to do with you?
Well, I
See,
think you...
mate.
I gotta say that I'm with this one. I don't approve of anybody bringing Mrs. Beasley into it. It's although I do like it. I used to love it back in the day when Rob would bring Mrs. Beasley into it, and every now and then she'd get on and holler at Johnny May. That shit was funny. Shit was funny. And in my opinion, if she gets on the mic and starts hollering at people, at that point she becomes fair game. Right? If you're hollering at me and I start trolling you, then that's just, that's the name of the game, right? That's and so but if Mrs. Beasley is going and doing the family shopping or whatever, fucking leave her alone. She ain't messing with you.
Yeah, but Jello, I'll probably take a little bit of umbrage there, because if you knew Sandra, and I think you probably do know...
A little bit. We're acquainted.
Yeah. I think you know the type of person she is. She's one of those... I don't know what your partner's like, but I assume she's the salt of the earth to you.
Definitely.
And you would look at her and regard her as, just a saint or an angel.
Which is exactly why I try to keep her well out of the room when I'm involved in a hollering match online.
Yeah, but hang on. Yeah, Sandra's the same. She's as good as your partner.
I'm sure of it. Every bit of it.
Yeah, that's right.
I reckon your wife is probably a full nice person and all that.
But when she gets engaged, now she tries to stay well away from all of this nonsense.
I don't blame her.
When she gets engaged, she's aggrieved on my part because she sees, how frustrated I get. Now, you've got to remember, when I came into this environment, I'd finished a book. I was really excited about its potential. It was important to me, but everyone was making fun of it, so that's how that goes. So, I got frustrated, and she would see that frustration.
I know. I know it's a hobby, though, as well.
She would see injustices and that, so she stepped in. So she's going to be pissed off, right? Just sort of trying to look after me.
Well, of course she is. She's stuff for her, of course.
That doesn't mean that then it's okay to make her fair game, which is what
No, I don't make someone fair game. When I said when someone gets on mic and starts hollering they're fair game, that's not my decision. That's just how I treat them. I feel that they made the decision to make themselves fair game by getting on the mic and start hollering back.
No, it's a bit freaky too, man. Imagine you come on and you see your missus as a profile come up from someone else. Like you won't be like.
I can cope, mate.
It's,
I had Bulldog.
don't do it.
I had Bulldog. I came into a room and Bulldog was in there, and he had a picture of Sandra and it was one of our pictures from our holiday. And I still don't know to this day how he got it. And he denies that he actually had it there, but I saw it. So those sort of things, you know, I find them to be wrong. Now, you don't see me doing too much of a song and dance about it now. I've sort of learnt my lesson.
I've got to be careful what I say. I'm a hypocrite. I mean, I've done Mama Festa, right? Does he come in? Remember that, Jello? He used to come in and go, "Hey, Patrick, why you not?"
Yeah. I used to do a Mama Festa voice too, but neither one of us. We didn't. I mean, we weren't. I don't think we looked anything like her. I don't think anybody believed it. It was just to wind up Patrick.
I did a picture of Mama Festa was like an old Italian woman, right? With Patrick's face there.
With Patrick's face, I saw it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I didn't get last time round. I'm getting all wound up. I didn't get that the boys were treating me as, you know, a gameplay. And
No. That you're wrong. That's where you still don't understand, Rob. They were treating you like an equal. Because they give the same fucking shit to each other. I give Johnny May shit. Johnny May gives me shit. This trolling fuck, you think you don't think he'd send me pizzas if he was capable of it? Come on. Like and then he comes in here and has a laugh with you after the fact. You know what I mean? Like it's not about hate. It's not about hate. It's about equality. They were treating you just like they would have treated each other. And I think you took it wrong, Rob.
Oh, no, you're not right there. I mean, I might have agreed with you going back a time, but I promise you, I've seen the troll machine at work, and it's not a nice thing.
Oh, you've copped the funny side, man. You're lucky. You haven't copped the vitriolic side yet. That's bad.
Oh, no, you can throw whatever you like. I think I know enough.
That would be.
No, I don't think that was a threat. What he's saying is that the kind of trolling you get is the kind of trolling that we would do to each other. It's not the kind of trolling, the kind of shit that he's talking about. That's the kind of shit that wrecks friendships. Like, you know, he can order a pizza for me that I can send back, and we can have a laugh about it. But you know, when say I don't know, he starts posting pictures of me smoking weed to my baby mama Facebook, so that, you know, if we're having a custody battle, I might have a problem. You know, that's the kind of shit that by the way, that I don't have that kind of an issue anyway. Anyway.
Yeah. But no. You're still not getting it on. Maybe I need to video and capture some of these behaviours, but there are certain behaviours. There are certain behaviours that I've experienced, and I've seen other people experience. And the guy Tom comes to mind, where it goes beyond the playful level. It becomes a competition, right? And the ego mind wants to win. The personality of the people that I'm talking about see themselves as superior. One guy, Sty, I don't know whether you've ever come across Sty.
Yeah, we all know Stizer.
Yeah, but Stizer made a slip, and he basically explained. He said it in a simple little sentence. He said, "We're highly intelligent. We get bored, and so we go and do these things, you know, to relieve the boredom." And Styles is a perfect example of a troll. But what I'm saying to you is that that's how it all starts, and then what happens? The agitation, or the attempts to agitate, because that's where the kicks come from, and you know, the manipulation, etc. That sort of escalates up, and they try and get you to a point of being upset. And in that process, it's like they're very quite clever actually, but they're doing everything possible to get you upset, and not, you know, nothing's on limits. Now, I got diagnosed bipolar, and I'm on lithium. These guys somehow knew that or worked it out, and then they use it against you. They use it to sort of make you feel, or they try, right? They try and make you feel as if you've got an illness or a sickness, and you know, you're not an equal, and all of this sort of bullshit. Now, that sort of behaviour, to me, steps over a line. It's inappropriate. And, you know, like when they rope in Sandra, they sort of dabble at the edges with Sandra, bringing in the picture and all that. That, to me, steps over some lines. It's not right. Not right. I know that. I know that for sure, that it's immoral behaviour. You know, you can justify it any way you like, but I promise you, it's not nice. And if you could see, who was it? Rose is another person that's been trolled. Talk to her about her experience. Go and talk to Tom, the guy from England, the guy that's got the drug addiction and the
you talking
criminal record. Hey?
Are you talking about Rose when I did her clone?
I can't hear you, mate.
Sorry, are you talking about Rose Patton when I did her clone account?
Well, I don't know about that, but I am talking about Rose.
That was actually pretty funny.
Well, yeah, you guys get a kick out of it, but in the process, right, what happens is that your so-called cleverness, right, finds weak points. You're always looking for them, and when you find them, you dig it in. You know, it's quite malicious.
No, I'm not malicious though. That's the thing at all. I'm not not nasty. I'm nice, right? But I'll make it funny. It's just got to be funny and quick and then gone, right?
No, but it doesn't turn out that way, mate. And this is the ego, the way the ego works. You feel superior in the situation. You feel intellectually superior.
I don't. I'm actually kind of like quiet. So
lad. It is true what I'm saying. Now, you can deny it, but the bottom line is you do feel intellectually superior. You do feel you can manipulate.
I don't think I'm intellectually superior, that's for sure.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, I don't. I just don't. What I do think is I do see, and it's true, a lot of people are going to disagree with me here. For sure, I know they will. But there are a lot of dummies on here, man, right? A lot of dummies. And I just don't think that I'm...
but you say that's actually the inverse of what I'm trying to say to you. When you say that there are a lot of dummies,
yeah,
they're actually not dummies. They're people that you're able to manipulate, and you
not because of that. They're just
they don't know they're being scammed. They just don't.
Take that out of the equation. I'm just saying it just isn't them, right? And whatever, you know. I know I said it's a bit judgmental. It is judgmental. You know, especially when they're trying to debate or something, and you get these, oh man, you know, or things like that. I don't do it to everyone, man. I just do it. I'm quite normal, but every now and again we just muck around like that, right? But we're not like that 24/7. You know.
It's the environment that brings it out of you. All right. That's exactly what happens. That's what that test in. I'll give you the bloody link so you can go and have a look at it, right? But this is what humans do. You put people into an environment, and the behaviours will emerge.
But do you understand? I think you got to understand humour a bit more, man. I know that you say that I don't think it's funny, but you've really got to understand that other people do, right? That's what you may not get.
I do get that, actually.
Because the problem is because you've cop it, you won't see that. And I understand, I get that. That's what I'm saying, is right. And the same goes for Patrick and Rose. They also are like you.
Pedestrian at a crosswalk, and in a recent study, some 90% of drivers did.
Here,
Except for
just
those driving.
listen to this for a minute, boys.
BMW. They were almost as likely to run the intersection as wait for the person to cross the street. Drivers of those BMWs, those Porsches, those Mercedes were anywhere from 3 to 4 times more likely to break the law than drivers of less expensive, low-status cars. In a country more and more polarized by inequality, UCal Berkeley's Paul Pitt led a series of startling studies showing an apparent link between wealth and, well, unseemly behavior.
Oh, by the way, there's candy there. It's actually for children for another study, but you're welcome to take a few pieces if you want to. Thank you.
That's the script an experimenter recited to every subject. And the results? Wealthier participants took 2 times as much candy from children as did poor participants. Another experiment tested honesty in reporting dice scores when cash was on the line. People all the way at the top who made $150,000, $200,000 a year were actually cheating 4 times as much as someone all the way at the bottom who made under $15,000 a year just to win credits for a $50 cash prize. So, experimental evidence that rich people are more likely to break the law while driving, help themselves to candy meant for children, cheat in a game of chance, also to lie during negotiations, and endorse unethical behavior, including stealing at work. The academic paper that resulted made headlines everywhere. Wall Street Journal article leading with the question, ready to pitchforks?
It is very clear that this study of social class touched a nerve.
Psychology professor Dacher Keltner is Paul Piff's boss and co-author.
We publish these studies in relatively obscure scientific journals, and literally the next day we're getting hundreds of emails from around the world, and a lot quite hostile.
I've gotten a lot of vitriol and hate mail from people calling me out for junk science and having a liberal agenda.
Hey, but wait, didn't those who complained have a point? That the research was done at a famously, some might say infamously, liberal university.
Hey, they're in Berkeley. What other results did you expect them to get? I regularly hear the Berkeley idiot scientist who's finding what they expect to find. Let me tell you, we did not expect to find this. Our findings apply to both liberals and conservatives. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're wealthy, you're more likely to show these patterns of results.
Results consistent across 30 studies he's run on thousands of people all over the United States. So what is it about wealth that might make people behave differently?
What are we doing here? We're playing a game of Monopoly that's rigged.
This game is typical of another kind of experiment Piff likes to run. Instead of studying actual rich people, Piff gets subjects to feel rich in the lab. The designated Monopoly money bags starts with a few legs up. $2,000 versus the poor man's $1,000. An upscale playing piece, the rolls, versus an old shoe. The right to toss 2 dice instead of just 1. 2, I've got snake eyes, meaning I assigned the role of rich person, get an extra turn. But I roll again because I've got,
yep, because you rolled doubles.
6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's Tennessee Avenue, and of course I'll buy that. Meanwhile, poor Paul Piff.
I only get to roll 1 die, and as it says here, when I pass go, I collect a lower salary. I collect $100.
Here's your 1 die.
Great, thanks so much. I can't roll doubles. I don't get opportunities to move very far along the board.
Piff has run this experiment with hundreds of people on the Berkeley campus. The
Rich players are determined randomly by coin toss, the game rigged so they cannot lose. And yet, says Biff, despite their presumably liberal bent going in,
When we asked them afterwards, how much do you feel like you deserved to win the game? The rich people felt entitled. They felt like they deserved to win the game. And that's a really incredible insight into what the mind does to make sense of advantage or disadvantage.
So even though a subject like myself is just play acting,
You consistently find that I begin to attribute success to myself, even though it's a coin flip that got me on this side of the board as opposed to that.
You, like a real rich person, start to attribute success to your own individual skills and talents, and you become less attuned to all of the other things that contributed to you being in the position that you're in.
How is the American dream achieved?
Piff is part of a team headed by Dacher Keltner that studies the psychological effects of both absolute and relative poverty and wealth.
You can also ask, do people believe in this dream?
What they're studying is economic inequality, which, as our viewers probably know, is as high as it's been in almost a century in this country.
There are new data coming out on a daily basis from top laboratories showing no matter how you look at it, the effects of inequality are pernicious upon things like bullying on school playgrounds, the quality of your physical health, how you handle disease.
What's somewhat surprising, says Keltner, is that even the haves suffer.
One of the things that Wealth and Money does is it comes with a set of values, and if you want a deeper ideology, and one of them is generosity is for suckers, right? And greed is good. But it turns out there are a lot of new data that show if you're generous and charitable and altruistic, you'll live longer, you'll feel more fulfilled, you'll feel more expressive of who you are as a person. You probably will feel more control and freedom in your life.
Of course, there are plenty of wildly generous rich folks. Just look at the growing list of billionaires who've pledged to give the bulk of their fortunes to charity.
And 6, I got a doubles again.
But statistically speaking, there's a significant tendency to look out for number 1 if you're at the top.
What do I got? Oh, you can get out of jail free card. Oh, excellent. That's very nice. Although I could probably, given the fact that I'm the rich person, get bailed out. You could.
And as Piff observed when he ran this experiment with hundreds of doggedly friendly Berkeley types, those in the role of top dog began to bark like one.
And so I get the $200. You get $200. Well, give me $140 because I'm going to buy Mediterranean. Okay, done. Now listen to the way that you just spoke to me. It was very directive, almost like a demand. But we found consistently with people who were the rich players that they actually started to become, in their behavior, as if they were like rich people in real life. They were more likely to eat from a bowl of pretzels that we positioned off to the side. They ate with their mouths full, so they were a little ruder in their behavior to the other person.
While I was thanking God no pretzels were present, Piff continued. Those arbitrarily assigned the role of low dog became more nearly man's best friend.
If I take someone who's rich and make them feel psychologically a little less well off, they become way more generous, way more charitable, way more likely to offer help to another person.
So when people are playing this Monopoly game and they're in the poor person role that you're playing, they, if they were rich in real life, become more understanding, more compassionate?
Not just in this game of Monopoly, but in a whole bunch of other experiments that we've run where we make rich people feel poor or poor people feel rich. You find the same kinds of differences.
Differences that could conceivably help people understand their subconscious biases and perhaps even moderate the costly effects of economic inequality. But until that happens, we suggest you look both ways before crossing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what money.
What's that?
That's what cash does to you.
Well, everybody. The telling thing of that video is that it applied to everyone. There wasn't a person that was an exception. If the circumstances were applied, or the person became in contact with those conditions, bingo, the behaviours followed.
Did he definitively say there was no exceptions at all? Because I can't remember if he did or not. I don't think he did.
Well, look at it again if you wish, but
I have to.
yeah, if there were exceptions, he would have mentioned it, and he certainly didn't.
Well, he's got results. He was speaking about his results, but have you actually seen them, like the published version in detail? Because they.
Sorry?
No, I'm just so you can actually. It'd probably be there, a link to it, just so you can get just his data, right, from his research.
Yeah. No, look, I'm happy with the findings. It makes sense to me, so I move on.
It does. You're right, man. But if you just say there's no exceptions, then there probably would be exceptions, man.
No, he would have reported them. And I'm pretty sure in there he actually said that, you know, without.
Okay, that's what I mean. I don't know, man. I don't know, but.
Oh, I do. I'm pretty confident that he's right, and it makes sense to me, you know, because my findings, not talking about that topic, but my findings are that this enlightenment stuff applies to everybody, and the two wolves apply to everybody. Without exception. That's because that's who we are as humans.
Now I have to find out what punishment to give you for mentioning the two wolves again.
More pizzas!
No, Jello, I was thinking that, and I kept quiet. I kept quiet. Yeah. Well, boys, I might say goodbye. I've sort of stayed longer than I should have.
What?
Well, because I just want to have a life.
What are you going to do? We're going to go to porn?
Watch some TV, eh?
Yeah, watch some TV.
Yeah, something like that.
Right on, Rob. You have a good night, sir.
All right, mate. Good of you to drop by.
Well, it's good of you to talk to me. I appreciate the company.
Yep, enjoyed it, Jello. See you, folks.
All right, see you, Rob. Good night.